Max, it's time. Chloe, I'm so sorry. I don't want to do this. I know, Max, but we have to. We have to save everybody, okay? And you'll make those fuckers pay for what they did to Rachel. Being together this week, it was the best farewell gift I could have hoped for. You're my hero, Max.
When Life is Strange was released in 2015, it was hailed as a turning point in narrative gaming. It told a grounded, emotional story about friendship, love, and growing up, all presented with a neat supernatural twist. Players take on the role of Max Caulfield, a photography student who discovers she can rewind time. She uses this power to reconnect with Chloe Price, her estranged best friend, and to unravel the mystery of a missing girl in the town of Arcadia Bay. But beneath this high school mystery lies a more insidious pattern, one that represents a long and painful history of queer character portrayals in media. In Life is Strange, the overlap of procedural design, narrative structure, and cultural context all ultimately reinforce the gay tragedy trope, despite promised moments of player agency. Procedurally, Life is Strange is all about choice. Players make decisions, big and small, and the game responds. It's literally presented to you at the start of the game. Your actions have consequences. But the longer you play, the more you realize that the outcomes are strangely convergent, and similarly, the story becomes strangely linear. Because despite the promise of a branching narrative, the game always ends at a single weighted decision. Save Chloe and doom the town, or sacrifice Chloe to save Arcadia Bay. This binary ending undercuts the promise of agency. As game critic Ian Bogost might argue, Life is Strange uses its systems to perform a kind of procedural rhetoric, and makes an argument not just with its dialogue or plot, but through what its rules allow, restrict, and require. Here, the game's mechanics require the player to understand that queer intimacy is dangerous. Loving Chloe breaks the world. So even though the game appears to offer freedom, its procedures nudge you towards sacrifice. You can save the girl, but only if you're willing to become a monster to everyone else. Narratively, Life is Strange is a love story. Whether you interpret Max and Chloe's relationship as romantic or platonic, the emotional core of the game is in their bond. Life is Strange revolves around this sort of coming-of-age trope. Max is quiet, empathetic, and still trying to figure out who she is as a person. Chloe is the exact opposite. Loud, brash, obnoxious, but only because of her fear of being left behind by others she cares about. And that becomes a core issue of Chloe Price's character. She's only suffered. Her dad dies, her mother remarries to a guy she hates, her best friend moves away and cuts off all contact, and her new friend or love interest mysteriously disappears without a trace. And to top it all off, she either dies thinking that she has been abandoned by everyone she loves, or she has to live with the trauma that her existence destroyed her hometown.
Get that gun away from me, psycho!
In many ways, Life is Strange revives the archetype of the damsel in distress. Chloe is the doomed figure, utterly helpless and awaiting rescue. As Anita Sarkeesian outlines in her own video essay series, Tropes versus Women in Video Games, the damsel trope traditionally positions female characters as passive objects, acted upon rather than agents in their own stories.
Chloe, I can't make this choice. No, Max. You're the only one who can.
In Life is Strange, Chloe is similarly always the one in danger, always the one Max must save. Whether she's getting shot in a bathroom or pinned to the train tracks, Chloe's survival always hinges entirely on Max's intervention. This becomes painstakingly obvious, especially with the example of Episode 4's final choice.
And it's only getting worse. I've heard the doctors talking about it when they thought I was zonked out. So, I know I'm just putting off the inevitable while my parents suffer along. And I will too. This isn't how I want things to end.
What? What are you saying?
I'm saying that being with you again has been so special. I just wanted to feel like when we were kids running around Arcadia Bay and everything was possible, and you made me feel that way today. I want this time with you to be my last memory. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
All you have to do is crank up the IV to 11.
This positions Max into a kind of emotional caretaker, constantly rewinding, repairing, and absorbing the consequences of Chloe's pain. Thus, it comes to be that the narrative of Life is Strange, this nostalgic coming-of-age romance, is still built on a familiar problematic foundation. The tragic girl who can't save herself. Culturally, Life is Strange exists in a long tradition of stories where queer characters suffer. The bury your gays trope, where LGBTQ characters are killed off, often to advance a protagonist's emotional growth, is everywhere.
Son of a horse and bitch. I wish I knew how to quit you.
Then why don't you?
Like Ennis in Brokeback Mountain, the pattern is familiar. Queer intimacy is punished. As Malkowski and Russford note in the introduction to Gaming Representation, Race, Gender, and Sexuality in Video Games, inclusion is not the same as liberation. Games often gesture towards progress, representing queer, female, or non-white characters, but still operate within limiting frameworks that double down on old norms. In Life is Strange, queerness is visible, but it's never stable. It's never safe. The narrative builds a world where same-sex love is possible, but only through terrible loss, grief, and impossible choices. Life is Strange is a beautiful, intimate, but flawed game. It invites players into a world where memory, loss, and love are rendered with a rare and honest sincerity. But it also traps queer love into its tragic time loop, mechanically, narratively, and culturally. I love Life is Strange. It's one of my favorite games I've ever played. But the illusion of choice the game presents masks a deeper inevitability in the medium of video games as a whole. Because while it does offer representation, it struggles to imagine queer futures that don't end in heartbreak. So as we move forward in game storytelling, the challenge is not just to include queer characters, but to build systems and worlds that let them thrive and live normal lives, instead of suffering. Life is strange, but it doesn't have to be tragic.